promise to my mama I'ma turn these zeros into tens and commas. I'm ballin', ballin', closing $1 million deals. Catch me swerving, burning $100 bills. How I feel when you ballin', ballin'. Going places they never go. It ain't all about the money, but I stack it cause you never know.
With Adam Finkelstein from ESPN and NERR. Adam, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
We want to talk about our Rising Senior Showcase in late June. Really important for these kids, you know, as they get into the crux of the recruiting process. Can you talk a little bit about, you know, the time of year, you know, heading into the July period to start off so people get a better idea?
Well, so obviously that evaluation period is in the heart of July, right after July 4th, and it's 3 weeks from Wednesday to Sunday, and that's the time when Division I coaches can come out. And so for a lot of kids, they think that that's, you know, not just the most important time, but the only time to get exposure. And so often that's just not the case. And if you're a kid who's battling for a high Division III spot, or battling for a Division II scholarship, or battling for some low major attention, maybe you're on an AAU team where you're the 7th or 8th man and you're not going to get that attention in July, this is a chance you have to come and play against other seniors. It's only seniors, and so there's an emphasis on competition versus instruction in this environment. And so you can come and really kind of generate some momentum with a strong performance, because I think that's really the most important thing. Is lots of times those kids who end up with those Division I offers, it is a gradual progression where first you get the Division IIs, then you become a Division II priority, and then you get the low majors, and you see it escalating like this. And in this atmosphere, last year we had 75% of the NE10 here. Of course, that's the powerhouse Division II conference locally, and a ton of Division III coaches. So with that level of exposure, it's a great opportunity to springboard things heading into July.
So not just looking towards July, what am I doing before July starts to get the ball rolling?
Well, I know as a former high school coach, you know, I used to think the beginning of June was, and most of the month was critical in terms of just making sure your game's right, making sure you're playing at your best, and your kids are feeling a lot of confidence going into that period. And so I think this really kind of adds to that, because when you're in this showcase setting, playing against just other seniors, if you can play well, there's such an exposure element, being that, you know, it's on a Monday in the afternoon, so families might not be as convenient for them, but the reason being it's more convenient for college coaches. We don't charge college coaches to come in. Everybody gets a free packet, and that's, you know, we started doing that a year ago. It was totally unprecedented. So this is as convenient as possible for college coaches, which is why we get such a good turnout, which in turn is why it's such a good exposure opportunity.
And I don't think people always understand that although Division I coaches might not be there, they're always reading, and they're always talking to the coaches that are there, who might be putting them on to that kid who is about to rise in that early period.
You know, you've been on the road as a Division I coach. I was on the road, and I know one of the things you're doing is you're always doing your due diligence, trying to get prepared for July. So you want to know who's playing well. I can tell you the amount of schools that contact me after these events are huge, because it's a different environment and a different setting. As we talked about, the kid who might be the 7th or 8th man, or maybe he's the 4th or 5th man in the starting lineup, but he just doesn't get the same volume of shots or touches or chance to really stand out. This is a chance he has to do that. And so you can stand out in this setting, whether it's through, you know, myself or ZG or even the coaches in attendance. There's always a momentum effect. Whenever somebody gets multiple Division II offers, the low majors always start to pay attention, and that's what kids don't recognize. You know, they'll say, "I want to be a Division I player." Well, I'll say, "Well, who's recruiting you now?" And they'll say, "Well, no one." And I said, "Well, you know, what Division III schools are on you?" "Well, no one." "What Division II schools?" And it almost, unless you're a mid to high major kid where it's just clear you have an upper echelon of talent, it's almost always a natural progression like that.
You got to put something on the board for people to take notice, right?
Yeah, it's a progression.
Which is a great segue into the structure of the showcase. You know, typically we talk instruction, and that's a big part of what we do. Can you talk about the structure of the day in terms of the showcase setting?
Yeah, and I think, you know, Elite 75 is really our brand of showcases right now, and that encompasses a lot of different things, literally from grade 6 all the way up to these rising seniors. And this event, the Elite 75 College Showcase, is specifically for rising seniors, because this is only about instruction. There is no, it's only about exposure. There is no instruction component. So what you're going to have is you're going to have everything is competitive throughout the course of the day. There's one-on-one, and it's not it's in a controlled setting. So if you're a perimeter player, you're going to play one-on-one either off a wing catch or a live dribble with limited dribbles because we want to make a game like under college circumstances. If you're a big, you're going to play one-on-one both with your back to the basket as well as the high post. Then we'll progress to 2-on-2. We'll see who's got an instinct for playing in pick and roll. We'll see who's got an instinct for playing with dribble handoffs. We'll go to 3-on-3. We'll see who can play off down screens, back screens, and again continue to progress all the way until 5-on-5. And what that does, it gives the college coaches a chance to see some things that maybe they don't always see during the course of an AAU or grassroots game, and puts the kids in situations which correlate more naturally to a college game. So that's what we're really trying to measure, and I think the format of the day really kind of flows with trying to make it as much of an exposure event as possible.
So in terms of structure, exposure, and then the time of year, a can't miss event for seniors that want to really make something happen.
Yeah, and it's an event that, and it's we've only been doing this for a couple of years now, and it's an event that already has a pretty proven track record of kids who've been able to take their recruitment from one step to the other, and in lots of cases have continued to rise throughout the course of the summer in their senior year.
Well, heading into the summer for these kids, we can't wait to see them. We can't wait to see their progression too.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
There's nothing better than seeing a kid who starts off with the D3 looks and then ends up.
It happens every year, and it's not always an isolated incident either. It's usually a few kids who right now may not be getting a whole lot of scholarship buzz, but play really well during the spring, start to get noticed, and then the escalation just continues from there.
Can't wait for the event in June.
Yeah, thanks. We're looking forward to it.
Penthouse, man, what a view. Fall back cause I'm coming through with my whole team, they coming too. That's ballin', ballin'. I came from nothing to something like it's nothing, yeah, I done it.